Hey there, lads and lasses. This here is Thunderhand64 coming at you live from the west coast of the United States here on a Wednesday morning. It is a little bit past 11 a.m., 11 a.m., and that can only mean that it's time for some Generations Minecraft server Baby Zombie Rush on this Wednesday. I did say that the streams... Hold on while I untangle my headphone cable. I did say that the streams would be a little bit earlier than scheduled this week, especially this Wednesday stream. Kachi's out of school earlier for this last week of his school year, and so I need to wrap up the streams a little bit earlier so I can go fetch him from school. In fact, he is in his last couple of days now. Yeah, so we're super excited. But Friday is his last day, of course, and then he's got Saturday and Sunday, and then Monday he's on a plane and off to Taiwan for a month. So. At which time our schedule will return to normal. Okay, enough explanation about that. A little bit of exposition, whatever. A couple of things I want to try out. Let us do this. So I've been fixing some things. And let me see, I want to run some tests to make sure everything's working. Stream elements. There we go. We're there. Streaming tools, overlays, alerts. There we go. There's box. Now let's do emulate. Let's emulate a subscriber event. It should be right up there. Okay, that's cool. Now, I don't have the sound file that goes with that yet. I have to recreate that since Stream Elements did the purge this last winter and blew away all my assets. But it's good to see that that's working. Okay, and then I have to check out the redeems. And also, I can demo the redeem for the month of May, which you probably haven't seen. So let's go take a look at that. Here we go. Let's make sure redeems are working. Secret tunnel. Secret tunnel. Good. Okay, so that's working. I think Sage would like that one. Sounds like it might be a bit loud though, but I may have to adjust the volume on that one. Okay, so it looks like everything's working. So if that's the case, let's get back into the server here. Hey there. All right, so when we were here last, there we go. When we were here last, we were kind of divided into working between two different dead-end features. This one here and this one here. And I was actually building this one out, but we got sidetracked into that one over there, and now I need to come back and work on this. What we were doing is that feature over there, we were trying to generate tiny baby zombies and have them come out of these holes, this hole pattern, and just have them come pouring out of there. And so we got a little sidetracked proofing that out and making that work. But we did make it work. Fellow buffoon and the spiciest buffoon, Flying Villager, in chat, he and I were working together on this, collabing. And we came up with a fix for that. Or a design for it and stuff. So it's really cool. It's not finished yet, but we've got the working mechanics of it. So player presses this button. These will be just the regular wall pattern. These will then be removed, and then out of these holes will come pouring tiny baby zombies, scores and scores of them, which will be horrifying and ridiculously funny at the same time. We were trying to figure out a material for the whole pattern, so we wound up going with this, the stone stairs. But I don't know, this morning I had this kind of thing going on, which I thought was kind of cool. But the more I tool around with this, see, the thing is, when the player's here and they push the button, they can't really see the whole pattern so much because they're at well, they're not quite 90 degrees, a little more of an oblique angle there, but they're at an angle from it and they'll come pouring out. One of the ideas I thought of was to again alter the maze one more time and just block this off and then have them come out of a smaller hole pattern directly in front. But I don't know. I can't figure out a satisfying way of making this look. I mean, the player hits this, they start running. I guess they can see it sort of out of their peripheral vision. I guess. I don't know. Then, of course, once the baby zombies are finished pouring out, the wall blocks will come back up to conceal this again. Me being the MC, the host of the event, and cameraman at the same time during the Baby Zombie Rush event, I might be following the player along, maybe in some sort of spectator mode or something, and maybe when I pass, we'll get to see the whole pattern a lot better. I don't know. I'm going to go with this for now on the sides, and if I think of something better later, maybe I'll try it, but I think we'll go with that for now. But I think we've developed enough of this feature. What I'd really like to do is finish this up and then go back to that. That was my original order in which I was proceeding. So here on this dead end, we have the player presses the button. This wall opens up and the baby zombies, the regular size baby zombies will come pouring out of there. So that's the idea there.
Secret tunnel, secret tunnel, secret tunnel.
Welcome on in, Sage. You should be able to see the auto shout out up there for the real foolish one himself. How are you doing over there across the pond, sir? My fellow mischief maker in the Buffooncraft server. So yeah, I figured let's get this thing finished up. Let's button this up, and then we can resume work on the tiny baby zombie trichophobia dead end. I think that's marinating myself in beer while baking in the sun. Not too bad overall. That sounds wonderful. That sounds wonderful. So after Monday, the little family will be in Taiwan. I will be here in Southern California alone. But I have many things I have to do. One of them's I'm going to visit one of my math colleagues up in the high desert. I'm going to be doing that for a day or two, somewhere in that month of June. One of the other things I might try doing also is doing a camp out. So we have a Toyota Sienna van, and I'm thinking on reserving a campsite and bringing the van out there and just, instead of the tent and all that stuff, I'll just sleep in the back of the van. But I might try something like that. We're in, as far as getting around to all the places you need to go, we're in an ideal location here in Southern California. The mountains are like right up here. And the ocean is like right down there. And the desert is right over there. That's where JMO is. He's a little bit further out there, JMO LaShuo. And so, as far as getting around to all the places you need to go, we're in a really good spot. But as far as all of the sightseeing stuff, especially the natural wonder stuff here in Southern California or in California in general, and there's a lot of it here. There's some really cool stuff to see here. That's all like 6 hours away for a drive. And so I'm thinking, you know what? Maybe I should just get a campsite and drive the van out there, hike around for a little bit, stay overnight, hike around for a little bit more, and then come back the next day, make a 1, 2, 3 day weekend thing out of it. So maybe I'll do something like that. So I might try that this month while the family's gone. Yeah, if the family finally gets a break from me. You could think of it that way. You think more of the converse, but I really miss Kachi though when he's out there for that long and stuff. So it's not going to be too bad for him though this time around. He'll only be out there for 1 month, but he'll be back before his birthday, which is cool. So I get to spend his birthday with him here. That's cool. There's Dora. Evening. Come on in, Dora. You can see her auto shout out up there. I hope you're doing well. Fellow buffoon there. So I don't know. I've got a lot of plans. There's a lot of work on the house that I have to do. There's some work on some of the guitars that needs to be done before Kachi gets back. Cool stuff. I'm good, Ta. How are you? I am doing excellent, my dear. Excellent. Thank you very much. Okay. I am a little worn from all the grindy stuff in Buffooncraft, though. I'm digging a big underwater hole there. And so it's... Even though I'm below the ocean floor, there are big, huge cave areas that are flooded. And it's really annoying having to drain and mine and mine and drain. It's not a lot of fun, but it's got to be done. You're also getting the heat wave. Not really. Actually, right now, it's not too bad. We've had a very uncharacteristically cool and wet winter, and most of the spring has been also pretty cool. We had a couple of minor heat waves here and there, but like right now, it's really nice. So hopefully it holds out a little bit. So you're not asking me that. You're asking Dora that. Hey, a Brit with air conditioning. Good for you, Dora. Good for you. Twice the answer. Okay. All right. So what we need to do here is we had our door operational, if I'm not mistaken. What I was doing is I think I had the input here, and I think I was doing a button. Something like this, I think. And then we were... Oh, we need an inverter. That's the problem. That's right. Yeah, see, here's the problem with all this stuff. I have to remember where I was and what I was doing. Okay, it's this kind of a thing. That's right. All right. So Kachi has kind of lost interest in doing streams for a little while. And so I might be running generation streams in place of Kachi time. Until he becomes interested in doing that again. Oh, that's right. That's right, because we want this on a timer. So we need to push it back. So let's just put the levers, not levers. They're levers across the top like this. and then we can close. Right, and then, oh, and then we can, we should probably do buttons for this, right? You know, the thing with the Baby Zombie Rush stream is spending the first 15 or 20 minutes just trying to remember where I was and what I was doing. Okay, open and close. Okay, that's what we want. I've got a tiny desk fan to move the warm air around. It's a portable one, so it's not amazing. We had a 40C summer one year, and it made me buy one. Now it's a lifesaver. Levi's. So, yeah, there's always a lot of concern about the Europeans during the summertime. Yeah. Here in Southern California, it typically tops out over 100 degrees Fahrenheit. So there are times where we get like 112, 110, 112 degrees Fahrenheit. It's horrifying. But we're in pretty good shape right now, so. Yeah, and you know, I feel for you there because I'm from New England, and even though we have hot, humid summers there, you know, we're geared for life above the 50th parallel. That's the way our bodies are made. Because we get bitterly cold winters there. And so after all my years living in California, I'm still not acclimated to this. I still suffer greatly here. Of course, Taiwan's the worst in the summertime. Taiwan, you get the 100+ temperatures, and you get like the 80, 90 some odd percent humidity. It's crushing. I don't know though. The last couple of summers haven't been too bad there though for me. The last few summer trips. But usually it's so bad for me. Like, I'll be in some shop there with the AC, and the friends and family will want to go to the shop across the street, and I'll be looking at that distance thinking, that's probably going to take about, maybe with the lights and the pedestrians and the traffic, that's probably going to take me about 3 minutes to cross that. Am I going to be able to make that without AC? Okay, I think, all right, here we go. Ready? I've got a 3-story townhouse and my kids are at the top. I had to build beds on the living room because it was so stifling. Oh, yeah. The humidity in Thailand was awful. Oh, yeah. At least in Taiwan, because the island is small, you get some sea breeze, right? It's kind of like, you know, if you've been to the Maldives, I haven't, but islands like that, like Hawaii, right? Even though they get very hot, there's a continual sea breeze going. Taipei doesn't really get that too much. It does a little bit, but not too much. But in the south, though, you get that. The south and the east, but those are the less inhabited areas. So I went to Macau many years ago. It was only 20°C, but downright 100% humidity. So your body cannot get rid of any heat. Shops and buses with air cut over, yeah. All right, so what we need to have happen here is we need, when this button is pushed, we need a signal to come over to this and move the block off. Then we need a clock to move the block back. So we need a signal to come over here to move the block into place. And that means the block has to move into place and retract. So we need double action like this. And an observer might be able to do that for us. So if we did something like, and we could just set this up as a, let me think. Let's do this. Let's get an observer, because I think an observer is going to be what we want here. Sage. I need a holiday. Hang in there, Dora. Hang in there. Let's see. We need that kind of an output. All right. Now, I'm thinking now, what if we have a... Now, this isn't going to be permanently placed here, thusly, only temporarily so. Now, let's push the block back into place. And we need a sticky piston. Let's do... Come on. Give me spacebar. Let's go. Like that. That's what we need. Okay, and we can have that there. And so we're going to get this kind of a thing. Good. That's how I want that to work. That's what we need to have happen there. Now, there might be a little bit of a delay here. The rails, now I could make an observer column here to read that there, but I'm thinking the rails are going to be faster. Now, I think the rails here will work 90 degrees. Yes, they will. Great. But I don't think I'm going to be able to make a straight run. Where is the wall face? It's over here. Maybe height-wise, we can start bringing it up here. Because then we're going to need to read this one. And I just got to try to think of the best way to do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, see, here's a bit of a problem. That's pretty much the limit. Then we need an observer at that point, like that. And that still doesn't help us height-wise too much. It's like we don't have enough room there. I could go right past it though, because we also have to wire in the clock too. So, 1、2、3、4、5、6、8、9, right there. We could do something like this. And I'm thinking we could bring it up like that and over. I don't want to bring it up sideways like this. Right? I mean, I suppose I could. Yeah, I don't like it. I mean, we're in creative mode, people, you know. If we were in survival mode, I would just go with whatever works. But remember, when we take a turn, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We can't turn with these. So wherever we take a turn, we need an observer. And that just adds another observer to the chain, right? So actually, so see, yeah, wherever we have a turn, we need an observer. Something like that. Let's go reset that. Now, let's see if I have everything in place here. I think I do. This should generate this. Should bring this up and over like that. Okay, that's good. So if I do this. Okay, that's good. And you know what? That's not too bad timing-wise. Timing-wise, that's pretty good. That's reset. That's good. This can read this. I could get rid of 2 observers, I think. That might power this block and that rail. Let's try it. Yeah, it does. Good. That saves us a little bit of delay. Okay, but now this is too long. So 1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、9 right there. That means we got to move this up, which isn't a problem because this is way less than 9. So we can just bring this forward a few like this. I think I can also make this shorter. Observers are awesome, but let me see. I can also do, you know, I can make that a little tighter that way. But I think the deal is it's going to be a little something like this. See if we can get this in here. Okay, we need the output to be right here. I think I can do it. Yeah, I think this will do it. I might have to go one more though. I think it'll have to be something like that, and then I might be able to get away with doing that. I'm just wondering if this will power that rail. It might. Yeah, it does. Good. Okay. That's pretty tight. One bad thing about that, though, is I would like to... I'm thinking on having the clock engaged off of that pulse. Because if I put the clock back here, that frees me up with some room over there. I don't really need the clock there. And the clock has to trigger this to push that back to reset it. Let's get caught up in the chat because I've been concentrating. Closest I'm going to get is the warm ocean of Minecraft. Aww. I will need to take about 10 days before the end of August. Are you going anywhere nice? Nothing planned for it yet, but it's kind of a use it or lose. Yeah. And then we have some moderation that needs to be done here. Bye-bye. There we go. Yeah, there's a lot of... There are a lot of really cool, like, natural wonders and national parks and stuff like that here in California, and I've seen almost none of them in all my time here. Mrs. Thunderhand hates that stuff. She's extremely urban and does not like the outdoors at all. And so I don't really get to do too much of that. And so she's gone for a little while, so I think I'm going to start trying that out a little bit. But like I said, it's not just her. It's also our location for that stuff. We're all like 6-8 hours away from all of that stuff. So I have to go and stay there overnight. It's not practical to drive out there, hang out there for a few hours, and then drive back. It's too much driving for me. I'm too old for that. Which would mean, renting a hotel or a cabin there for the weekend, which is incredibly expensive. And so, but I'm thinking, if I just camp out in the van, just rent a campsite there and just camp out in the van because it's only 1 or 2 nights. I'll be fine for that. And then drive back the next day. Then that gives me a break in between and I can relax a little bit and... Well, it depends on your outdoors. Depends on your outdoors, man. Heat, cold, otherwise she doesn't like it. Me, I just Yeah, the heat is a killer for me. Literally, I've got to be very careful with that. Cold, however, cold, I'm good. I can do cold. A little less so now that I'm an old man, but I've always been able to do cold. So we would often, as some of the viewers know, we would often go up to Big Bear Mountain. Its elevation is a little over 8,000 feet, and so there's snow up there. And when I'm up there, I'm doing really well up there. That's just like home. There's water, snow, there's trees. Yeah, that's a lot like my climate up there. So I'm doing very well up there. She does not do too well up there, but to her credit, she goes up there and she endures. My older son is getting used to living in Seattle, which is similar to New England, although they get a little more rainfall there. Um, but the climate is similar there. So when I went up to visit him for his birthday last week, that was very much like home. So, yeah, I was doing all right there. He's starting to get used to that now. He still likes to come back to Southern California, though. Okay, so this part looks like it's in place. I think the next thing we need to do is to build a clock here that after this is engaged, it will push that back into place. And I think I know what I'm going to do now. I think we can do something. We might be able to do something like that. Send this signal, this pulse out to the clock, and then the clock will push that back into place when it's done. And we could set up the clock here. So the initial push of the button will trigger this, drop off the block, which will then open the path, let the baby zombies out, and then it will then go back and close this and put them back in place. What we should do is we should build this out. We need a space in which the baby zombies, they can be interned. Let me see. Let's do black concrete blocks. Not the powder. We can do this. And we might have to do replace some of those blocks. There we go. So when you see the interior, you just get this blackness. But we might do these blocks up top here. Right now, there's a smooth stone just so we can get the look that we're going for. Right, we've got that. So these we want to be the wall blocks, and we'll have wall blocks all the way around that. There we go. All right, those will be wall blocks. These will be pistons. But these up here should also be, at least it should be the polished blackstone here. And it should be for these 6 blocks. So let's put that block there. Let's get some dust. let's do the same here. Like that. And then this one. And this should have a repeater here. And then I don't think I have to set that for any ticks. I think that's just straight on. In fact, we probably wouldn't even need a repeater. We could just run the redstone line right over there. But it directs it this way and keeps things from bleeding out on either side. So I think that's probably the way to go. Let's just make extra sure. I think I have a baby zombie dispenser over here, right? Yeah, I do. And here's the feed block here, the line in. Here I have a delay on it, but I don't think I need a delay. So in the one that we're crafting over there, the input comes in from back here. So we might have another baby zombie dispenser around here somewhere. Where is that? It's not here. That's a drop trap. It's not there. I mean, it might be here. Secret door. Could it be over here? Arrow dispenser. I mean, I have it over there on the board. I have a drop trap. That's the infamous water trap. Let's just go over and look. I don't want to spend the whole stream searching for it. Entrance. Baby zombie dispenser is at dead end 6. Dead end 14 is the Ravager. Dead end 6 has got to be... Did I go from the back to the front? I probably did. It's going to be green because it's been completed. 9.1. Dead end 2, arrow dispenser. Drop trap. That's 7 though. 6 must be close. Eight. So 6 must be over here somewhere. Lightning strike, that's 12. That's 10. We have that dispenser, but I wanted to see the other one. Nothing there. That one is incomplete. Not that. Not that one. I said this was what, 8? That's 4. This is good practice for me though, because I need to be able to locate these things. Well, I mean, there is this one. Okay, so I built this one the same way I built that one. But this one doesn't have the delay on it for some reason. But that's what I wanted to confirm. I don't need a delay here. Oh, we're good. All right, so I just need a clock now that will send that back when it's done. How am I doing for time here? I've got 10 minutes until break, and that's a good thing. All right, so we're open here, and we have this, and this is what I want this to look like. And this is good. We'll have also and I'll just build this out with the wall blocks right now. Just the generic ones, and then I'll texture them a little later. So that'll look like that. We'll also have blocks like this. And then we should get this kind of a thing. That goes back into place. It should be like this. Right, and then when we hit that to open it, there we go, and out come the baby zombies. That's great. Mr. Han, Mr. Relic, how are you doing today, sir? Welcome on in. You should all see the shout out for the one and only Supernova Relic. Good day, sir. By the way, Gold Farm on the Buffooncraft server, working well. Tried it out the other day. Nether Hub, looking good. And I'm so pleased to see that you are working on the Nether Hub. I would have really liked to have helped out with that. I still can in a limited kind of sense, but I'm so far behind on my own build that I had to prioritize. Okay, so we have 2 more operations to put into place here. We need a clock that will close the door. We also need some baby zombie dispensing. So we do need a command block. We did a little patch job after Nova started remodeling the Nether Hub. Oh no. Sage. I'm very well, thanks. Beer Festival Saturday, so County. Oh my God. Fuck. I'm envious. Can you imagine the 2 of us at that event? Whew. I could see them flying in airdrops to keep the inventory stocked. Although a little less nowadays for me. I'm starting to get a little old now. I've got some really cool ideas for it. I've got a spot for the Wither Killing Chamber all set too. Oh, excellent. Yeah, that was always a temporary thing, so I'm glad you moved that. Let's see. Yeah, picking out a spot for that is difficult because you have to have the bedrock in the right configuration. So, okay. So let me see. With the clock, I'm wondering if what kind of clock I should use for this. Because, I mean, I could use the kind of clock I used in the other one. But if I hit this, I'm thinking this opens up in about maybe 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,004, 1,005, 1,006, 1,000, somewhere between 5 and 10 seconds, I'm thinking is going to be good for this. So, okay, we've got this system in place. This should work out well. We can button this up too while we're at it. Good. I think we can do that. Let's make sure it still works. Gotta be careful decorating things, you know what I mean? Good, still works. Okay, great. I'm kind of stalling for time here before I work on that clock. One day, sir, one day. Lurking while I wait for my grocery delivery. Appreciate the lurk, Dora. Rest, relax. Get as close to that tiny little AC unit as you can. Okay, so what am I doing here with this clock? I think the other for the other baby zombie dispenser, I think what we did was we just made a repeater clock. Yeah, we did. Oh, we made a comparator clock, actually, for this one. This is for secret door, but still, if it's only for a few seconds, that's not too bad. But you can see I used a repeater clock for this one. I don't know if I have that much room over here. I guess I do because I have this alleyway, right? I could use I could use a repeater clock for this one. What I would have to do is it would have to drop the block off, and then when it completes the circuit, it would have to retract the block back. So there is that. The other thing I could do is use the Etho Hopper clock modification I used over here somewhere. Hello, Mushi. In one of these other devices. God, look at this redstone. Redstoners. Keep both your hands above the desk right now. What? I didn't say any bad words. Yeah, I modified an Etho Hopper clock here to act as a timer. You know, I do like this because it's compact. It's kind of versatile as far as signal is concerned. It's pretty good. The other thing I should do is get my night vision on, right? So, let's get over there and get that. Here we go. Night vision. Okay. So I'm floundering over whether I should do Etho Hopper clock or should I do just the brute force with the either comparator or the comparator clock or the repeater clock. This is one of those things I should probably have worked out before I did the stream so I could just merely build it. However, it looks like I did repeater clock here, and then you can see where it comes back after it completes its circuit through the clock and then retracts that again. Because we need to have a couple of things happen. Let's do this first. All right. Because coming off of this, we're going to need several. We need 3 operations coming off of this. We need 3 operations coming off of that. That's right. And you know what? We can just take this from here so we can test it, right? We need a command block to come off of this. We need a return for this piston, and we need the piston itself. And the firing order is going to have to be command block first. And it's going to have to be an array of command blocks as well. Which is not a problem. We have to decide how many baby zombies we want, and I'm thinking 10. Thinking 10 is good. And we could just copy this block over, right? And then just update the coordinates. We could do that. So that's what? Control middle toggle like this will give us that. And I'm thinking we can do something like this and use a target block off of that, and that will help us split the signal in a couple of different ways. We can, oh yeah, this will be nice. I'm thinking, get the fire extinguisher. I'm thinking something like this. And what? We can... Now, I could do that, or I could use a repeater off of this. But I think we're going to be doing all right. If I do that and get a sticky piston, we can do, and I want about 10 of these. 1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、9、10. Like this. And there we go. So we could have something like that. We could also do something, you know what? I should move this off to the side though. So maybe the repeater is a good idea for this. Just to give us some room for the other components like that. We'll go like this. And then right about there. That should have my, okay, and then we'll have to update the coordinates. 1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、9、10. Like this. Like that. Okay, and we'll have to run some redstone dust across the top of these. Like that. All right, so we do have that. We could do next, we could do this. Now, I think I can just run the piston right off of this. Oh, but we have a problem. We do have a bit of a problem. All right, I've got to be careful with this. Piston. Sticky piston. Oh, I already have one. All right, that's good. Sticky piston can go right in there. Now, what I was going to do is, when the circuit is activated, I was going to have the pulse go down through all the repeaters like that, and then come back and into the target block. But if I do that, it's going to come... Now, it can't go back this way, but it can refire these. So I'm going to have to do directly into the piston itself, which isn't... It's not a problem. It's not a problem. Like that. It shouldn't go feedback through there, so we should be good. Let's take that off right now. Okay. All right, and that. Okay, we're getting a double action off of this, so we could... And let me see, we needed to... Oh, I gotta remember how to do this now. I think I needed to... I think a pulse is okay for this, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't think the timing of that is really critical. I'll slide over that. And if now I should be on break right now. I should be doing the ad break, but I'm kind of into this, so. Huck. It sends 2 pulses though. I forget the mechanic to make this. Is it... I might need a T flip-flop for this. But anyways. All right, let's take our break. Let's do that. And then we'll be right back. I'm going to run 3 minutes of ads, so we don't need the ad pre-roll. And then we shall resume. Okay, hey there, we're back. The ads have been neutralized for anybody joining the stream for the next hour. The second half. Let me see what happens here. If I take this out and I load this directly on, will it drop off the block? I think it will. There's a circumstance in which this will drop off the block. I just have to remember what that is. There it is. So it'll send a pulse through and then retract it. So it has to be directly off the observer, which, you know, isn't that big of a deal. It's okay. That means we need to, that will go into that position. And you know what? We can just move the target block now if we do this right. It's a pretty big if. We could just do this like so. That will be, it'll actually go right about there. We can bring that over to there. I just want to see if the redstone will light up on the top of this when we do this. I think it will. Okay, yeah, this doesn't directly power that. We need we need a repeater going into it, so that's not too big of a deal. All right, so we'd have a repeater going into that and then branching out this way into that. And then the return will have to go into the side of this. In fact, we might be able to do that with another observer. If we... Good. Yeah, if we do something like that. Something like that. That should be cool. Okay, that's all right. I think I just took one off of this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, like that. In fact, you know what? Let's not copy these yet because we want these baby zombies to all spawn in the same spot. So which let's see. All right, we're going to have to delay this slightly, ever so slightly. because if they spawn right here, I don't know, maybe we'll have them spawn back a little bit. We just got to pick the right spot. The player hits this and they're there. They will definitely see the player and come out. Okay. Good. Oh yeah, it doesn't. It's here. Thunder, please. All right. One thing I wanted to check. Yeah, that looks good. All right, and let me see. If they're back here, even if the player starts to run in any direction, the baby zombies will be able to see them. So let's get these coordinates here. And let's use a targeted block. It looks like 667, 73, and we're probably going to want one block higher than that, so maybe 74. And then negative 1639. 9. There we go. And then this one would be 668. Because I may split them up and put like 5 here and 5 there. We'll see. So let's put in those coords. I need a way to leave that up so I can see it while I'm 667, 74, 1639. All right, I think I'm good. No, I'm not. Yeah, that's really bad. Okay, that should be good. Let's try one of these first. Okay, doors are open, so baby won't die. That's a good thing. And then now there, let me see. This will open the door first, and then that'll happen. That should be enough of a delay already. Let's see. That won't open the door if I close this. Let's see what happens. There he is. Hey there, dude. Oh my God. Look at him. Oh, he's quite cross with me. Whew. All right, so I like the timing of that. So now, instead of copying these, let's copy this one. So that's Control middle mouse. Let's try that again. Control middle mouse, and that should be like this. And these across here like that. And now let's update this. This one here. Hey, what happened? Yeah. How come it's not shift copying that? Right. There we go. This one should be 668. Like that. There we go. Done. Let's do that. And let's do 5 of these. E. Her sons. Like that. We'll bring this over here like this. Okay, that's good. Let's close this again. Okay, and let's get that out of the way like that. Okay, this should have the desired effect now. Oh my God. Okay. Yeah. I love it. I love it. Now, I thought there was a parameter that Villager was telling me about. Yeah, here's my stuff. Whereby you can have the orientation in which they spawn. You can have them facing forward and stuff like that. You can do that. They poured out of there very, very fast. So I'm thinking a repeater clock is going to be more than enough. More than enough to take care of this. So we can just put a repeater right there. That would be 9 of these. That might be enough. That might be enough. So if I got rid of all of that, and I'm gonna need some redstone there. Some redstone dust. Let's do that. Now this could happen even faster if I use rails, but the point is not to make it happen fast. The point is to slow it down. Plus I'm going to need a kill button for these guys too. And I should have one around somewhere. I should be able to copy one. I think I have one over here still in the... Do I? I thought I had a baby zombie kill command block somewhere. I mean, I can make one, but usually I'll have one of these at each station, especially ones that do things like this. In fact, we'll put it over there. We'll stick a button on it. That way we can just clear these guys out, right? And you know what? I can never remember the code for anything here. There we go. So it should be something like this, where we go, we say kill, like this, and then should be an entity, so it has to be at E, and then we have to tell it what kind, right? So this should be a type. Type equals, and then I think I could just say zombie here. I don't have to do Minecraft :zombie. I think I can just type in, well, I don't know. They give me choices here, right? So let's go down. Zombie should be at the end. Yeah, it should be that. Zombie, and I guess you could do distance, but if I just keep it at zombie, I think it'll just kill all the zombies in the area. I think it'll do that. Where are those little dudes? Do they all despawn? No, some of them are over there. Let's try it out. Okay, it didn't like that. So it just killed all entities, which included me. I'm not a zombie! Better yet, it killed me, but not the zombies, which is kind of weird. That's weird. Yeah, exclamation point Minecraft I think is weird. I think it should just be, I think it just should be that. Nope, still killing me. Why does it not kill 734 entities? But the baby zombies are still alive. So my type isn't working. It's still putting exclamation point in front. I don't know why it's doing that. See? It's putting exclamation point in the front. I don't know why it's doing that. But it's forcing it. Maybe it's just hashtag? Maybe like that? Okay, that does it. Good enough for me. Sign. Let's do this. And really, kill. It's not just a baby, but really, it's just all technically. There we go. Good. Okay, so after we test, we can just clear. Usually I'll have one of these in here all the time. All right, so now it's just a matter of setting the clock. Let's just keep it all on 1 tick, and let's see how long it takes. No, I didn't want to do that. Okay, let me see. That'll bring it here. It'll start the clock. It'll bring it around to there. That won't fire. This will, but it shouldn't trigger that. Okay. Wow, that's very fast, and we've got a double pulse. Okay, no, that's working good. Okay, but that's way too fast. So let's just start increasing these. Let's just bring these all to 4, right? Okay, but it's not dropping off the block. And I really need it to drop off the block. Usually that's so fast it'll drop off the block, but it's not dropping off the block right now. And I forget how to make it drop off the block. Most reliable and easy way to create a 1-tick redstone pulse in Java is by using an observer. Yeah, that should do it. But it's not dropping off the block. It should be super quick though. This should be so fast that it drops off the block, and it's not. It should go thump and retract and leave the block behind. And you know what? This sucks because I don't do this enough where I have this memorized. I have to like relearn it every time. Because this defeats the whole purpose here. I need it to drop off the block. And this action is too slow somehow. And it shouldn't be. I mean, I have it set up right. Place the observer. Right, trigger it. When you want to power the block in front of the observer fires a 1-tick pulse. Do I need a T flip-flop there, though? Yeah, you know, I think I need a T flip-flop here. I think that's what's happening. Yeah, I think I need a copper bulb T flip-flop. Or a T flip-flop. I'm going to use the copper bulb because I don't use enough of these, I don't think. That's weird. It should be an on, stay on situation. Comparator. Why is nothing working the way I remember it? Am I having severe, like, Mandela effect right now, or? Yeah, this isn't going to accomplish it. Yeah, that doesn't work like that. I thought it worked the other way around. I thought it worked. If that's the case, I can just branch it off of there. This is janky, I realize it, but let's get it firing first. In fact, you know what? Let's just do what needs to be done. Could use a target block on that. I mean, I could use my one with this powdered snow or the... let me think. I just want to think of the best way to do this right off. I thought it was like this, and then when I press this, this sends a pulse and turns that on, and then this stays on. I thought that was the deal, but apparently not. Because it's double action, but that's the point. See, this is supposed to stay on, not turn off again. Did mechanics? Did Minecraft Redstone change? No. Because we used to be able to do this. See, it stays on. That's the point. Even though you get an off and on pulse, this stays on. And it's like, well, is the pulse too fast? I don't think so. Yeah, because we're getting a double pulse. But the thing is, this is supposed to prevent a double pulse. That's what it does. I'm just forgetting how to do this because I don't do this enough. I only do it like once every other week. That way I have to relearn it every time, and it sucks, people. It sucks. Let's try having a comparator read the observer. I don't think it reads like this, because it doesn't read the change in state. Yeah. The thing is, this is supposed to fire fast enough to drop off the block, and it's not. I mean, I've done this before down here. You can see where I'm using T flip-flops right there. Right, so you've got the observer reading the rail going into the copper bulb, and then the comparator reading the copper bulb and powering the piston. I mean, that's what I'm doing over here. Here's the observer, and you can see the observer, the copper bulb comes right off the back of the observer. Like this. Okay. Okay. And then the comparator reads the copper bulb, which I had. All right. This way? Yes. And then sends a signal out to here. And let's just watch. That's not... Yeah, that's not what I want to have happen. At all. What I wanted to do is drop off this block. But see, I get a double action and it pulls it back. I mean, I could just use my own T flip-flop, but... so I need what? I need a dispenser. And how do I do this? Now this is going to require a double observer setup. Like this. And then now, before I used to use water for this, but now you can use powdered snow. Typing. See if this is enough. Nope, I just lengthened the chain. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, this isn't going to be able to work. I might be able to just pull it off of this one. Instead of doing all this, I might be able to just pull it off of that. Yeah, all of this is done. All together to the melody of Beethoven's Fifth. Dum 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 dum. Yeah, this can go into that place. When it does, and this pushes the block over here, but the thing is, it'll be constant power though. Now, let's see what's going to happen. Sends a pulse through. Is this a quasi-connectivity thing? Yep. Pistons cannot push things up. Okay, so we do it forward. Maybe I'll be able to see it from here. Maybe. Okay, good. Leaves the block in place. Doesn't retract the block back afterwards. I have to relearn this every time. Every time, Bubba. So I need it to either stay extended or to drop the block off. It's supposed to drop the block off here. The other thing we can do is another solution is you can do that. Because then it'll send a pulse. I mean, it'll work. The other thing is, can we get... We might want to go vertical with this piston. Because now, since we're using an observer, we don't have to be concerned with going up. We need the Piku to be facing that way. So when it goes up, it'll send the pulse down and then around and back. Like that. When this comes up. Now, I forget if this can power into a target block. Let's try it out. Pulse on, pulse off. Not cool. I'm going to have to relearn how to do this. Because this shouldn't be double pulsing. And I have several solutions for that. I've just forgotten what they all are. Oh, Bubba. We used to have a way to make that drop off a block. And I thought it was with a copper bulb. I mean, I keep repeating this over and over, expecting it to work the next time. I guess that's insanity, but... But the first click is supposed to turn it on and leave it on. That's what I need. Right there. That is what I need. That'll T-flip-flop it. That'll do it. And then whenever we're using these copper bulbs, you need one of these for a reset. Then the comparator comes out of it. Yep. So then after this, this is where you need two things happening. And the good thing about this is I think I can do something like this. kill that. I can hear that little dude in there, so let's waste him. There he goes. Let's see. So I think what's going to happen is something like this. All right, it's not continuously spawning them, so that's good. Okay, let's try it again. Look at all those little fiends. Look at them. Okay, that's good. Okay, now what's going to happen is this will fire again a second time and reset it. Okay, that's good. All right, so this works. And I know I'm at the end of the stream now. Oh, I've got another minute. So we need another observer input here. Right. Okay. So we can do that with a repeater. Or the observer goes there, and then the repeater row will come over to here. Let's get this back into place. Observer goes in this direction. Nope. Yep. Calm down, calm down. That can go there. And then let me see, repeaters. I gotta stop panning the camera so crazily here. Let's see, we're gonna have a final one there. So san si u liu ji ba jiu shi. So, okay, that's good. Let's do that and that. Let's take that out for the moment because we're going to put that in there. Let's take that out for the moment so we're not spawning the baby zombies. Let's grab the sticky piston here. We'll do this. All right, so if I fire this, all right, it went a little too fast, I'm thinking, which is why I've got all those. Oh, wait. This, no, okay, it's not reading that. Okay. No, it should be good. Right. Oh, okay. All kinds of weird things are happening. Hold on. Okay, let's try this. Okay, that's good enough. And then it's reset and ready to go again. And then we have this like that. Okay, that's good. That takes care of the repeat system here. All right. We can't go up with that though. we could use an observer here to send a pulse. Let's see if this works. Let's disable that. Okay, that's not good because that's just constantly going. All right, well, I'm out of time. I need this to be able to do its thing. It's weird. It's like the second time. See, it retracts it back. But see, the second time, it leaves it. And you get a one trigger action. It could be something with the rail. Maybe the rail's too fast for this. Oh well. Anyways, I was really hoping to make way more progress on this than I did. Let's wrap up the stream. Yeah, I've got to hit the road. I'm going to forego the raid today because I need to get right over and fetch Kachi. Let's do this. Okay. Thank you everybody for joining me today. That was really cool to have you guys all here with me, guys. To have all of you here with me. Just remember that we do this generation stream every Wednesday, usually from noon to 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Our next stream will be on Friday from 11 a.m. to 1 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That will be Buffooncraft SMP Season 6. And the stream after that, Sunday, I don't know if Kachi wants to do a stream before he leaves for Taiwan. The Kachi time stream is usually from 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If he doesn't, I may stream Generations. I may stream either the Survival 5 world or I may continue this. I don't know, but we'll see what happens then. Everybody, enjoy the rest of your afternoon, your evening, your morning, wherever you happen to be. Join us again next time. Bye for now.